So this is actually the first screen video that I've ever made from my bedroom. So I'm going to give you the slightly embarrassing tour here of what you see in the background. You can see my unmade bed. Oh, other way. Nope. This way. Right there. That's my unmade bed. And then back there is an unfinished drywall. And then the yellow light kind of right here is light coming in from my bathroom. And then over here, kind of behind me, is my open closet. Anyways, that going, let's move on. Actively Learn is one of my favorite resources that I use all the time. I love it so much that I even pay for it. You can create a free educator account, but as with a lot of free resources, you pay for premium features. I pay for the cheapest possible plan because it gets prohibitively expensive real fast. So I learned about Actively Learn as a special education teacher because there's a lot of really cool tools built in, and I'm going to show them for you. Excuse me. So the first thing I'm going to do is we'll click Sign In, and I'm going to take you through this entire process and how I use it with Google Classroom. So I'm going to sign in with Google. And here is my class in Actively Learn. So just a quick tour. Here's my workspace. I can click and I can see current events, news, and articles of the day, length, approximate reading grade level, and all of this I can assign to kids. Here are the categories. You can close this. English language arts. I love how they've organized this because there are so many themes in here that I can select and say, really, we're looking at social justice as a theme. What do they have in here for resources? And then science and social studies. School library, which is a premium feature that I can't afford. In part because you need an entire school to buy into it, and it's thousands of dollars. And then this is what I do pay for, my imports. Importing allows me to find articles elsewhere on the web that they don't have and bring them in, such as this historical article of Filipinos in Alaska. Here's Alaska Historical Society, Filipino cannery workers, and so forth. Wikipedia articles. Articles on Fortnite for high interest. Anyway, over there. Over here, I have my classes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a class because I created a class in Google Classroom just for this demonstration. I've invited me, myself, and I into this class. That way, by doing this, creating this fake class, I can show you student data. So I'm going to add a class, and I'm going to say import classes from Google Classroom. Say Actively Learn. I already said it was 7th grade. But why isn't it showing up here? Oh, I already did all this. Here it is. Here's the class. Okay, and here is the roster, but you can see that these two accounts haven't logged in to Actively Learn yet. So I can't see them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here. Here's my account. And I am going to go to Actively Learn. Sign in. Now this is tied to, this is my personal account, so this is tied to my personal account. Here we are. So I have joined the class. There's a little welcome video for students, and I can switch over here to, this is my UA account, University of Alaska. I'll go to Actively Learn. Sign in. So, back to where we were, which was here. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this page. And here is the fact that I joined the class. Okay, so this is again as a teacher. So I'm going to go back to my content, and I'm going to pick an article for these students to read. I'm going to go into English Language Arts, and I am going to look at, let's see here, I want poetry because April is Poetry Month. Type poetry, here it is. Road not taken. So it comes automatically with assignment directions. I can customize this to add, to edit this. I can add media to help students. I can input just a YouTube video, an image, whatever. Save that. I can add extra help summary. I don't pay for that. I can add a pre-reading question. So I can go ahead and select a standard. I'm going to say, this is all reading for information, meaning and evidence. What do you think it means by road not taken? Options. I could add media to help them. I could add extra help. I can add a model response. So I'll do that. Here's a model response. I think the road not taken has something to do with roads nobody drives. I also have options for multiple choice or poll questions and such. So I'm going to hit save. So here it is. The students have this pre-reading question. Then there are, because I selected an article that is already in their system, not one that I uploaded, they already come with questions. Let's say I don't like this one, so I'm going to delete it. Delete. And I'm going to, gosh, there's a lot of questions in here. Well, this one has extra help. You agree with the authors. Okay, so I want that. I don't want this. And delete that. Okay. This one here, author's interpretation of the poem. I'm going to edit this. RL 8. Level 3 strategic thinking. Oh, I didn't show you all of these options in here. You can add a second standard. You can add a knowledge level, so level 3 strategic thinking. Question. I'm going to change the weight. I'm going to say this one is worth twice as many points. So I just edited a question that they put in. All right. So now I can share this with colleagues. That requires more money. I can go into the text settings. I'll show you this later. Authoring options, notes, vocab, questions, print. At this point, I just want to hit assign. And I want to assign to this class. Hit assign. Hit close. Okay, so here's my Google Classroom. I can go to classwork. And here's the draft that I just assigned. So I can edit this draft in Google Classroom. Edit assignment. I'm just going to say, do this, because I don't want to take up too much time with this video. This is already much longer than I'd like. And hit assign. And hit assign. So now, I'm going to switch to one of my student accounts. So here's my personal account, and look at this. Here it is. Pops up. Road not taken. Doesn't mean what you think it means. 2 unanswered questions. So I'm going to click on this as a student. And here it is. And look, the rest of the text that we just put in and assigned to the student is not visible because the student cannot move past this question before answering. So I'm going to say the road not taken is roads you don't drive on. And hit submit. Submitting. Awesome. Now I don't, now the rest of the article shows up for me. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my other student account over here. Classwork. Here's that assignment. I'm going to go to it. Okay, and again I can't move on. I'm going to show you what happens though. No. So I'm going to refuse to answer that one just for speed. But I can view my, after I answer it, I can view my classmates' responses, and I can say, I like this one. I'm going to hit close. Okay, so I just thumbs up my other classmate's response, and I can read this article. Now, I want to show you what I really love about this, and why I selected this, and why I am posting this here. So I can get into the text features, and this is where I came across this as a special education teacher. I can change the margin and the spacing. I can change the font. I can change the font size. I can change the background color, if that helps with my ability to view and read things. And I can turn on and off paragraph settings. And then there's this button here that says Use Dyslexic Settings. And I'm going to click that and hit close. And this is what it might look like if you have a reader that you might suspect might be dyslexic, and perhaps this would help them. So I'm going to go back in. I don't like that. Go back to the regular one. Text size small, regular. I actually kind of like blue myself personally. This helps me read. Now, other tools in here. Again, this is still student view. I'm viewing this as a student. I can highlight text, and I can translate it. And I can select any language that is in Google Translate. So I can go down here and select Hungarian. And it translates what I've highlighted most of the time into Hungarian. In fact, I can close this, I can go back, and I can select the entire paragraph. And, oh, no I can't. Go away. Well, I'll click this. Hear it. And it's
the road not taken
there.
is read
Now
as
it's
an ode
reading
to
to me.
individualism
I
and
can
going
slow it
your
down.
own way. Frost seems to be celebrating the trailblazer who prefers a journey.
Come on. Hear it.
Most.
Slower. I can change the languages here as well, or the voices. So I'm going to highlight the sentence, hear it,
Time. The road not taken is read
and
as
it's
an ode to
slowed down
individualism
quite a bit.
and going
And it
your
does the screen
own
highlighting
way.
as you go. So we'll close that, and again I can highlight this sentence. I'll go in through Translate. Translate, I'll pick Filipino. So then it translates that sentence to Filipino. I use this when I'm working with students, all students, independent of this translate feature, because of all the other things built in. And all of these things that I'm showing you so far, with the exception of being able to upload your own articles, are completely free to teachers. Let's see here. What else can I show you? Let's say I'm reading this and I have a question. Stanzas. I can define it. Stanzas, a group of lines in a poem, a verse. Huh. Robert Frost's poem doesn't actually say anything about whether it's better to go on with the crowd than off on your own. I can highlight this and take note and then have a class discussion. I prefer to go alone most of the time. Friends are great, but I like being alone too. Now, as the author of this post, I can share it with the class. Otherwise, the teacher just sees it. And I can add media. I can add an image. I can add video. This is all fantastic when you're doing this with science text. Now I'm going to click Save. No, it's saved. Now I'm going to switch accounts, go back to the other student, who now gets to go down and see what I just highlighted and took note on. Now I can reply to that person. I can say, I prefer to be with friends. And reply. And now we have, whoa, great thinking. Go away. I didn't know you were going to show up. Thank you, go away. And now we have a discussion thread going. Make sense? I hope so, because I love this. Notifications. What does this mean? Ah, this is when I liked my own response earlier. Okay. So, I can go over here. This is, again, still student view. I can view notes, view questions, and I can print this. It's time to take it back to a teacher view. Again, holy cow, this video is long. In a teacher view of Actively Learn, I can go ahead and grade things. And let's see here. I want to go back. This is what I'm showing here. So here's the assignment data. So Adams N has read for 6 minutes. This other person has read for 3 minutes. Class time is 4 minutes on average. But this person took notes. This person looked up vocabulary using the built-in tool. This person translated. And this person is using text-to-speech. So it keeps track of what features students are learning. I can go in here and I can grade, and it's set up for standards-based grading. So I can say this is incomplete, and I'm going to send feedback to the student. It says, at minimum, use a complete sentence. I'm going to allow the student to revise, and there it goes. So it's marked with incomplete. At minimum, they can use it. My feedback was, at minimum, use a complete sentence, and they can revise their answer. Okay? Otherwise, I can score score things at 0. I use this for plagiarism only. And then incomplete, if I want the student to change an answer. 0, if it's plagiarism, I don't allow them to revise. Incomplete, I allow them to revise. Basic, I allow them to revise. Proficient, advanced, not work. I just say, provide them specific feedback on what they did that was wonderful that brought it to proficient or advanced. That's it. In Whirlwind, this is what I like doing because it has those translate tools. Oh, I can also move students here as a teacher to direct their attention somewhere. And, I mean, I can just English to Spanish, Chinese, Burmese, Arabic, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, Russian, do this, Somali, Spanish, Swahili, Thai, Urdu, Vietnamese, all of these options for Google Translate. Greek, without, whoa, totally different alphabet, I can't read it. Alright, I think that's it. I'm going to stop this before it reaches 20 minutes. Thank you, and have a good evening.